I know I shared a long time ago on my podcast about being one of those fathers who, sat on the sidelines, who, you know, signed their kids up for, different sports, different activities, and just kind of, sat there on the sidelines and watched. And I know I've shared with you guys that, like, I never wanted to be that guy. You know what I mean? I never wanted to be the guy who the father who was just sitting there on his phone, being lazy, and and just kind of watching and being disconnected from whatever my children were doing. Now, what comes with that is me putting myself in situations that you know probably most fathers wouldn't do. And what I mean by that is, you know, in order to get more active with your kids, in order to get them the encouragement they need, sometimes you have to do things that uh, maybe you didn't think you were going to end up doing, and you have to participate. Now, a lot of you guys know that I coach. A lot of you guys know that I've been coaching baseball for a long time. In fact, I coached football for a little while as well, and I also mentor kids. So I'm always like super involved. And I got into coaching because there was not a lot of people that were volunteering to help, and there was not a lot of dads who were active. They all kind of wanted to play the back role and just kind of sit back and watch their kid play, which I get. That's like normal, right? And I didn't want to be one of those dads. I felt bad because I'm like, yo, these kids need a coach. They need someone who's not just out there kind of just standing there. They need someone who's active, who's actually teaching them the game. So I got involved, and then as time goes by, I get deeper involved. Start coaching older kids. I start, have doing training camps with other coaches with travel ball and doing all these things. So getting more involved, um, which is it kind of comes with the territory. Uh, is it time consuming? Yes. Is it fulfilling? Hell yes. Uh, and I'm sharing this with you guys because I'm at another crossroads with my kids, because a lot of you guys know that they do jujitsu, and anybody who has immersed themselves into that world knows that jujitsu is a very humbling sport. It is not something you just go and get good at and then you just start kicking everybody's ass. That's not how it works. In fact, you get to a point where, yeah, you're learning, you get good, you're doing really well, and then you get humbled again, and then you get humbled again and again, and then you're good, and then you're the top guy again, and then you get humbled again. It's a constant roller coaster. It's a constant learning. It's one of those sports that it's always up and down because it's difficult. It's not easy. And I like this sport because it's like life. Life is not just some straight line. Like once you figure it out, your life just goes like this. We all know because if you're really putting effort to try new things and to grow in your life, you realize that yes, you're going to hit these peaks and valleys all through it. Now, if you're content and you're not doing anything with your life and you're sitting home and you're letting life kind of live you, then yeah, your life's going to go like this. Why? Because you're not taking any chances, you're not taking any risks, you're not taking the opportunity to grow in your life. So your peaks and valleys are really small. But that's not the way you want to live life. You want to get out there and you want to experience, you want to push yourself, you want to see what you're capable of becoming. And that is what jiu-jitsu is. And it's a very frustrating and humbling sport, but it's also rewarding because it teaches you mental toughness. It teaches you how to battle through these valleys and peaks that you're going to go through and to get better. And then once you're getting your butt kicked, you come back and you learn and you get better. And every time it's just up and down. But through all these battles, you become strong. Now, my son, both of them have been going through this phase where they are losing their confidence. They don't feel strong. They feel they feel discouraged. Jaden just went through that where he didn't really want to go to class very often, and we finally got him, back on his regular schedule. He was going once a week. He was supposed to go 2 days a week, but I kind of been taking it easy on him. Jordan was going through that as well, and recently he just told me, Dad, I'm getting discouraged. And I had to share a video with him of Joe Rogan talking about jujitsu and about how young men should do it and why it's good for them. And he says this analogy of, you, after so much time of you being the nail, you become the hammer, meaning you're the nail, you're getting beat up, beat up, beat up, and then you get so good that you become the hammer, and now you're hammering away at the nail. And then you elevate, you get to that next level, and then you become the nail again, and then you flip. But what he tells you is this teaches you that life is not easy, that it's very difficult. And if you can teach yourself to battle through those moments in life, that you will go far. You will understand that when these hard times come in life, that you can handle them because you've been doing hard stuff your entire life. So I sent this to my son and I showed it to him because I wanted to encourage him. Now, the reason why I'm sharing with you on this podcast, and by the way, this is episode 125 of the Perfect Mess podcast, I am sharing this with you because I am noticing that, and I had already planned on doing this, but I've got to get myself in the gym now. I've got to get myself on the mat, and I got to start rolling. I got to get in there and show my kids, look, I am willing to get out of my comfort zone again and get out there and roll and learn this craft, learn this sport with you, and get my ass kicked to show you that I am willing to humiliate myself and willing to humble myself and get on that mat and learn something that I know is going to be very difficult, to show you I'm in this with you, just like I'm in it with you for life, like I'm your father. I will be here, and I'm willing to battle life out with you. When it gets rough, I want you to lean on me. When it's great, I want us both to rejoice that we're having a great life. But I also want to do that with jiu-jitsu. I want to show you guys that, hey, if you're struggling, I get it. How about I jump in there as well, and I start rolling, and I start learning and training, and you watch me struggle with you. And I said, and I'm willing to do that, because I told them, I want to show you that I'm not just encouraging you to do something that I wouldn't do. And that's what I've been doing my entire time being a father, whether it's with football, whether it's with baseball, whether it's weight training, cardio, whatever it is we do, I've always done it with them. And I've shown them, like, hey, this is where I used to be. Now I'm here. And they seen that because when I was, I used to take my kids running with me when Jordan was 7 going on 8 and Jaden was 5 going on 6, and they would run the track with me at my old high school, and they would walk the straightaways, run the roundabouts, and then walk. But I would train them with me. They hated it, and then they got used to it. I would put them over my shoulders and run up and down the bleachers at my school. They remember this as kids. But I would do this, and I told them there's going to be a day when you are now passing me up when we run. That day has already come and gone. When we run together, I can't keep up with them. If you ever see us running at the park and we're together, it's because they're choosing to run with me and we're just jogging. But if we really run, they dust me. I can't keep up with them. They're young, they got better stamina than me, they're great. And I told them, this is how everything is going to work out. In the gym, my son is excited about hitting a new PR recently, but he knows, I told him, I said, the gym is going to be the same way. Within the next 2 years, you're going to be damn close, or if not, stronger than me. What I mean by that is, we're going to go to the gym and you're going to max out more than I can. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. Why? Because we've been training for so long, and I am training you to be better than me and to be better than what you think you can be, to push your limits. And it's going to happen. Just like it happened when we were running, it's going to happen in the weight room. And just like you are doing this with jiu-jitsu, I'm going to jump in there now and I'm going to start training. And I'm doing that because not only do I need it, because I want to continue to grow myself, and I want to work on my mental toughness, and I want to make sure that I have something in my back pocket that I am skilled at. but I want to show you that I am willing to get in the mud with you and struggle with you and get my ass handed to me by somebody who's probably going to be smaller than me to teach me and to show you that I'm your dad, man. I'm willing to battle it out with you just like life. And if that's going to encourage you to keep going, to keep going on this journey, then I'm in. It's something that I want to share with you guys as fathers that yeah, this isn't easy. And I know a lot of dads probably don't have the time, but if you are a father and you're listening to this and you have the time, I highly encourage you to get more active. Even if you're not in shape right now, even if you're like I don't know if I can do this. Do it anyway. Try. Because if there's one thing I can tell you, there's nothing more priceless than when your kid sees you doing something that they know you haven't done before, that they know gets you out of your comfort zone. They learn a respect for you. And yes, they may laugh, they may giggle, but that's great. Let them laugh at you. Let them say, Dad, you look crazy doing that. But they are going to love you and respect you and appreciate you getting yourself out of this comfort zone that you're in and putting yourself in a very unfamiliar position and learning something, and you're willing to embarrass yourself to learn and to encourage them. I'm telling you, as a father, you need to do it. I don't care what sport your kid plays, if it's basketball, if it's baseball, if it's football, tennis, whatever it is, if they swim, if it's martial arts, karate, MMA, jujitsu, taekwondo, aikido, whatever it is, get in there and try it yourself. Especially if your kids are struggling and saying, I don't want to do this, I'm not good at it, whatever. Find a way to get involved and to show them, hey, I love you and I'm willing to do this and struggle myself to show you that I am standing with you just like in life. I'm going to be by your side no matter what goes on. I don't care how old you are. If you need me, you can call me and I will be there with you. I don't care what it is, a heartbreak, you lost your job, you went through a divorce, you're going through it with your kid's mom, you're having your first kid, you're afraid you're not going to be a good parent, or to celebrate and do all the wonderful things in life and to be there with you. I'm going to be there for all of those things. And I'm also going to be here training with you, doing these things to encourage you and to show you that I'm willing to stand by you and do this as well. It's imperative that you guys take this advice. I don't always tell you guys like, hey, I'm going to give you advice, but I'm telling you right now, I have never taken jujitsu. I have always wanted to. Once I got, I started following these certain people that I follow on Instagram and social media and listening to these podcasts with these guys who train. I realized that there is no age limit. I realized that there are a lot of guys my age who are just starting their journey in jujitsu. Um, Andrew Bourdain, uh, uh, Bourdain who's the guy who Joe Rogan was one of his best friends, used to travel the world and try all kinds of different foods and whatnot. He committed suicide. Bourdain was in his 50s when he started training, and that to me is wild because Rogan would talk about him doing jujitsu and how he got addicted to rolling and going to the gym that he would go so much and he got really good at it. And that encouraged me. I said, maybe I'm not too old to do this. Maybe I'm not starting too late. I need to do this. Not only for the mental aspect, for the health aspect, and for the discipline aspect, I need to do it. And now I'm encouraged even more because I see this little valley that my kids are in right now, and I want to help dig them out of that valley by getting myself immersed in what they're doing to show them that their dad is willing to get out of his comfort zone and try something new. I love you guys, man. I'm always going to try to encourage you and share my life. That's exactly what this podcast is about. It's about my life, me sharing my journey with you as a father, as a parent, and as someone who's just living life like you are. But I'm living it and sharing it with you as I go through and as I learn and as I fail and as I succeed. And not every podcast is going to be uplifting. Sometimes I'm going to tell you when I'm in the valley and I'm going through shit. Sometimes I'm going to tell you when I'm on a high, and we're celebrating. But I'm always going to keep it real with you. I'm always going to give you the real. I'm always going to be straight up with you guys. And I hope I hope this episode hits you guys in the fields, and I hope it encourages you to get more involved with your kids and to not be one of those fathers that is sitting on the sidelines just saying, hey, you'll get better, keep going. Because sometimes that encouragement is not enough. Sometimes you actually have to get your big boy boots on, lace them up, and you have to get your hands dirty, and you have to get in the mud, and you have to tussle with your kids to show them that, hey, I'm not just going to encourage you verbally, but I'm going to get in there and show you I'm willing to get dirty with you. I hope this encourages you. I love you guys. Like always, my website is raymolina.com. Please check it out, bookmark it. You can listen to the podcast there. You can read any of my blogs that I put up. I write all the time. Please check it out. If you like any of those blogs, please share them for me. If you like any of these episodes, share them, text them to people. If you want to follow me, the podcast on Instagram, it's at the Perfect Mess Pod. That's also the TikTok. And my personal Instagram is It's Ray Molina. That is also my TikTok. If you're on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get all the notifications for any videos that I put up. The YouTube is youtube.com/at the Perfect Mess Pod. I always tell you guys it's not necessary to donate, but I always have people that say, hey man, I want to shoot you a few dollars. I love what you're doing. I want to help you grow this thing so it becomes bigger than what you thought it could be. If you want to do that, I have Cash App. It's $ It's Ray Molina, and my Venmo is at It's Ray Molina. All right. Like I always say, my life isn't perfect. Oftentimes it is a mess, but for me, it is the perfect mess. Peace. I love you.